Did you know that what I'm doing right now can help to reduce inflammation, can help to lower stress and cortisol levels, can reduce blood viscosity, even can reduce pain, can improve heart rate variability, recovery from injuries, expedite wound healing, can improve sleep. It is grounding, also known as earthing. So this sounds absolutely insane. You're telling me scientifically, if I were to go outside and I were to sit on the ground or I were to stand on the earth, that would make a difference in my health. It wouldn't just make me feel good because I'm in sunlight and I'm getting fresh air. It would actually reduce chronic inflammation in my body. It would balance electrical currents in my body. Actually, yes. And this is well backed by evidence in human clinical trials. Now, we could use more evidence for everything, but there is a strong body of evidence showing that the constant negative flowing potential of the electrons in Earth's crust, Schumann resonance, right, is that, plus the vibrations in Earth's atmosphere. This negative potential in Earth's crust and this positive charge in the atmosphere is created by cyclic patterns of weather and things like wind that occur, again, cyclically all the time, every day, all over the world and the earth. Now, this creates a flow of negative charge in Earth's crust, and when you come in contact with it, it affects the electrical currents in your body. It affects the electrical currents in your body to the degree that it stimulates a specific portion of your autonomic nervous system, which has two portions, parasympathetic and sympathetic. Sympathetic is fight or flight, my life's on the line. Parasympathetic is rest, digest. So it promotes, of course, activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, helping to promote hormone synchronicity and reduce inflammation, and has this antioxidant effect. But regulating electrical current in the body goes far beyond that. As we said, it can expedite wound healing. They've done trials in people with COVID, right? And they'll have them earth or ground for, anywhere from, it could be 30 minutes to a few hours, but they would do it over the course of days and weeks. These people that grounded versus the control group that did not ground, right, it also had COVID, with equal comorbidities, right, meaning they had other issues like obesity or heart disease and, all these things. The group that grounded had fewer symptoms, recovered quicker, even regained their taste and smell faster. It's pretty amazing. Now, this isn't to say by grounding it can replace all of your medications and everything else healthy that you do, right? Exercise and diet and lifestyle in general is extremely important. Being out in nature in itself, fresh air and sunlight have beneficial effects on your health. But grounding is just a groundbreaking discovery, right? That's been around for so long, been around forever. But we've gotten so far away from it, and interestingly, once they started, we'll talk about the materials that you can ground through, right? Bare feet and hand, or limb contact to Earth's surface. That's the best way to do it. Long story short, you'd want to do it for at least 15 to 30 minutes a day to get the benefits. But the longer you do it, the more benefit you will reap. And it's a good thing anyway. It's going to get you outside, and that'll help to relieve stress in itself. And, if you're in nature, that's a good thing. But interestingly, if you look back, when they started putting rubber soles on shoes, when they started to use non-conductive material for the base of shoes, instead of things like leather, whatever they were using, or people being barefoot more and rates of disease significantly increase. Now, correlation does not mean causation at all. That is not the cause, I am saying, of disease and the increase in disease from that point. But it is a very interesting correlation, and it's interesting how this electrical current will actually affect how your blood cells are charged and will make them separate to a greater degree, your red blood cells. And we said reduce blood viscosity and coagulation. I mean, this is insane. Blood clumping, in essence, right and simple, is a terrible thing for health generally. Sometimes it's important to form a clot to heal a wound or whatever it is. But, in terms of heart disease, in terms of diabetes, crud in the blood, impeding blood flow, this is just not a good thing, right? Static blood. And this electrical current from Earth's crust, it's amazing. It sounds insane. The more I read about it, I couldn't believe the body of evidence behind it. And we had talked about grounding here before at When Wellness, but even more research has come on as of late. And the National Institute of Health is recommending that people ground. There are PubMed articles, NCBI stuff. I mean, it's everywhere, medical doctors, chiropractors, DOs, any sort of doctor, wellness therapist, everybody's recommending it because it's something that can have true benefit on your health. You see in one study, they had these people ground for 20 minutes and it significantly improved their heart rate variability. What is heart rate variability? Heart rate variability is pretty much what it sounds like. It's the variability in the amount of time between beats, right? And we want higher variability, right? That's associated with reduced incidence of disease and typically better health outcomes when somebody has higher heart rate variability. You look at things like smoking and alcohol and sedentary lifestyle and a lack of sleep, and all these things can lower heart rate variability. So pretty interesting stuff there. You had another trial that it's so loud. We pulled over and we just try to find any grass to do this in, to be fitting. But it's a good example. You're in the middle of a hustle and bustle world, right? There's commotion, there's crap, there's toxins, there's all this shit that society tries to feed you to take you away from your natural roots and things that can help to keep you healthy, right? Aside from innovative medicine, which is fantastic and has been a major help in helping to treat and cure and prevent a lot of diseases, of course. We don't take that away from it. But you can't forget what is naturally great for the body, and here are some scientific reasons why. To supplement that with another study, they had these people ground for 2 hours. It reduced their blood viscosity by 273%. Again, it reduced how viscous their blood was by 273% by sitting on the ground. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing, right? But it's not. It's so simple at the same time. So how long do I need to ground for, or AKA Earth? Do those shoes actually work? They have grounding shoes and mats and all that kind of stuff. And, what kind of material can I ground through? Well, the best way to do it is to be in contact with Earth's surface, right? Whether that be soil or dirt or sand or rocks, right on Earth's surface. That's the best way you can do it. Now, you'll still reap benefit if you're going through certain types of clothing or you're on other surfaces. In terms of the clothing, it would be natural fabrics would be best, 100% cotton. We got right here. We had to wear that for the video, Well, I'll be a hypocrite out here. Cotton, other natural fabrics, wool, right? Things like that. And anything that's conductive, So a common question is, well, what about, socks? Well, if the socks are wet and they're thin, then you'll reap more benefit, right? But you'd be best off with bare feet, of course. Now, if you had thick or synthetic material socks, you're probably not getting much out of it, right? The grounding. But other points of your body can be in contact with the earth, right? Other parts of any surface area of your body can be in contact. You could be laying down, however, get in contact with the earth. But if you want to stand on concrete, also, tiles that aren't sealed, you know, things like that, it will still promote conductivity of the negative potential in Earth's crust through your feet into your body, or whatever, you know, part of your body is in contact with the earth. As for the shoes, you know, I did some research. It's kind of hard because you have to look at who's promoting all these things and who's saying that they're good for you, and often it is a company that makes those types of shoes, right? These grounding shoes. But I watched one where a girl had this grounding shoe, and on the bottom there was a piece of copper, right? And so that's conductive. And so they'll typically put some piece of conductive metal on the bottom of the shoe, and that will help improve the conductivity, of course. Now, she had something to measure electrical current, and she held it, and she wore a regular shoe, right? Something with a lot of cushion, and you know, there was minimal conductivity, and then went barefoot. There was a lot more, obviously, and then put the grounding shoe on, the earthing shoe, and it's very similar to being barefoot, actually. So there is potential that these shoes could also help you to ground and help to get that activation of your parasympathetic nervous system, that reduction of stress, that reduction of blood coagulation, improved recovery, right, for tissues, and antioxidant benefit. So, you know, any way you're going to do it, guys, try and get 20 to 30 minutes a day. You know, they're calling it vitamin G, electronic nutrition. You know, I mean, it's really something that is so great because there are no side effects. What side effect do I have? Maybe if you're on ground that's all sharp, you could damage your foot and get an infection, but don't do something like that. Sit on some nice soil or grass, right? Find something soft. Don't, you know, use your head, you know. But it's just something that has minimal side effects, is simple, and we should be out in nature more anyway. So that's what we got for you guys today. I'm already feeling better. I'm already feeling less stressed. I'm getting sunlight too. I'm getting the double whammy. I'm getting some vitamin D, boost my bone health and immunity, and improve the health of my teeth and hormone levels and skin and all these things. The fact that grounding also balances hormone levels is interesting. You know, a lot comes back to regulating electrical currents in your body. If you're into chemistry and you look at the charges at the most basic level, look at charges of atoms, look at ions, you know, look at something that is positively charged, calcium 2+, for example, right? You look at hydrogen 1+. I mean, these things all have charges and how they interact. So if you can naturally regulate charge, I think that would go a long way in the human body. So let's see what we got on this. It was up to the people. And we're going to maybe go hiking or something like that today because it's just absolutely beautiful. Thanks for coming on, you guys. What do we got? Luciano, what's up? Is it good? Yeah, it couldn't hurt. Kind greed, you could get a massage. Yeah, that's fine. You could get one before the adjustment. Loosen you up nice for the adjustment. Wouldn't hurt. Another common question I get is, can I do acupuncture and chiro on the same day? Absolutely. You know. What's up, Dev K? Luciano. I am. I'm pretty tired too, but this is nice and relaxing. Thank you, brother. ALB. Only because I didn't get that much sleep yesterday. But I feel fine. I'm always good. Dism, Brian, Josie. The Syringe, Willie. Veronica, what's up, beautiful lady? I will be there in a few minutes. I'm at the bank. Parking lot. On the grass. Cam, what's up, girl? How you doing? Thanks for coming on. Ryan, Rob, how you doing? I don't really take requests for people to be in the video. Sorry. Expressive. Bab, Rhino, if you have a question, just post it. We got some weird people out there, and we never know what's going to happen. And, you know, Ashley, Miss Saturn. Palavan. Donna Fallon. It's kind of hard for me to see because the sun's really strong. Yeah, baby. That's right, Dave. Lewis Stacks Fit. Dun Dun Spice. Roman. How you doing? How you doing? Go hug a tree, King Greed. Seriously. Go touch a tree. Just, Richie, we here, man, today. Peace in the East. Mew Heron. Tratterify and expressive. Guys, thank you so much for the support. If you have any questions, post them now. But as for now, yeah, please do book me. You can send me a message. Oh boy, that's something that's right up my alley, and every chiropractor it should be. Sciatica. I would be happy to see what we can do for you. If you're near the area, I'm in Stony Brook, New York. I don't know if you're near there, but I know chiropractors all over the country that I could recommend you to somebody if you're not here that, I think would do a good job. So you let me know. Electric. Rodney M. Shelton. As for now, that's all we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when. We'll see you then. Have a great one. Thanks so much, and happy When Wellness. I'm in Stony Brook, New York. I live in St. James, but I practice at 21 Main Street, Stony Brook, New York, 11790. That's When Wellness's address. So, Realtor Johnny, what's up? Have a great one. Thank you guys so much.